Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and thick forests, there was a wise old gardener named Asha. Asha had spent her entire life cultivating plants, watching them grow from seeds into towering trees, blossoming flowers, and thriving crops. But she was not known merely for her green thumb. People came from distant lands not just to see her magnificent garden, but to listen to her stories, each filled with wisdom and life lessons. One sunny afternoon, two young travelers arrived at her garden. They had heard about her stories and came seeking advice on how to navigate the challenges they faced in life. "Asha," one of them said, "we've heard of your wisdom. We feel lost and unsure of how to move forward. Can you tell us a story that will help us find our way?" Asha smiled warmly and gestured for them to sit beneath a grand oak tree. After a moment of reflection, she began her tale. Once, long ago, there were two seeds buried deep within the earth, right next to one another. These seeds were like most, small, fragile, and filled with potential. But these two had very different personalities. The first seed was impatient. The moment it was planted, it thought only of sprouting up as quickly as possible. "I cannot wait to grow," it thought. "I will break through the earth, stretch my leaves toward the sky, and bask in the sun. I want the world to see how tall and strong I am." So without much thought, the first seed began to sprout right away. It pushed through the soil with all its might, desperate to grow faster and taller. Within days, it had broken through the surface. It felt proud of its achievement as it stood in the sunlight. But the seed was still weak, its roots shallow, and it was vulnerable. It did not take long before a strong wind came and knocked it over, uprooting it entirely. Without deep roots, it couldn't survive. It withered and died before its life had truly begun. Now, the second seed was different. It was patient. Though it too longed to grow and feel the warmth of the sun, it understood that rushing would not serve it well. Instead, it focused on sending its roots deep into the earth. Every day, it strengthened its foundation, reaching further into the soil for water and nutrients. It knew that the deeper its roots, the stronger it would become when it finally sprouted. Weeks passed, and while other seeds sprouted and began to grow above ground, the second seed remained hidden beneath the surface. It did not mind. It trusted the process. Then, one day, it felt ready. Slowly, carefully, it broke through the soil and greeted the sun. But unlike the first seed, it was strong. Its roots were deep, and no wind or storm could easily knock it down. As time went on, this second seed grew into a mighty tree, towering above the rest. Its branches spread wide, providing shade to all who sought refuge beneath it. Its leaves danced in the wind, and its roots remained anchored firmly in the earth. It had grown not out of impatience, but out of wisdom and patience. Asha paused, letting the weight of the story settle in the air. The two travelers sat quietly, reflecting on the tale. Finally, she spoke again. "The world often tells us to grow quickly, to achieve, to show our success to others as fast as we can. But true growth, like that of the second seed, comes from patience. It comes from laying deep roots, from understanding that strength doesn't come from how fast you rise, but from how firmly you are grounded. Life is not a race. It is a journey of becoming. The challenges you face are the winds that test your strength. If you focus on building your foundation, nothing will uproot you." The travelers looked at each other, realizing that they had been rushing through life, trying to achieve success without truly grounding themselves in what mattered most. They thanked Asha for her wisdom and left the garden, carrying the lesson of the two seeds with them. And so, dear listener, remember, in life, it's not about how quickly you rise, but how deeply you root yourself. Patience, like the second seed, is what leads to true growth and lasting success.